Hi, this is Solomon Burke, and I'm riding the blues train on Radio Free Georgia. Soul sounds, rhythm and blues, everything you want to know about the news. It's on the Soul Train tonight. The Blues Train.
Forgiven the farther back you look. It's easier to cut some slack to someone from a book. But when somebody smiles and says, well, what's done is done, you wonder what side they took in 1961. Who'd have thought an old bus could be a battleground where Klansmen joined the governor to beat so many down, where just a few brave souls stood against the tide to take their stand for justice and make those freedom rides. The freedom rides weren't free, no, those freedom rides weren't free. A toll was paid in blood and soul south of Tennessee. You can quote your politics or U.S. history. For those who rode those buses, the freedom rides weren't free. For those who rode those buses, the freedom rides weren't free. Tennessee, where superstars take selfies and wave at you and me, where not so long ago some college kids combined their losses to board a bus for Birmingham to face the mobs and bosses. Through fire bombs and beatings and jail for everyone, those kids kept up their courage and they never used a gun or respond in anger or give what they received. Nonviolence was sacred to all that they believed. The freedom rides weren't free, no, those freedom rides weren't free. A toll was paid in blood and soul south of Tennessee. You can quote your politics or U.S. history. For those who rode those buses, the freedom rides weren't free. For those who rode those buses, the freedom rides weren't free.
That was track 2 from the album that we're talking about today, Rhinestoned, and the Frank Turner connection. To anybody who knows Frank Turner, you're all going, my God, he was right. And, of course, now Jason's going to have to run off and go, I have no idea what the hell Bob was talking about. I must go listen to Frank Turner. So there you go.
Oh, definitely will be top high up on my list of things to do, for sure. For sure.
It's a great song. What prompted that?
Well, I've always been into the whole story of the Freedom Riders. And, you know, most people know this, the basic story is how these kids got on these buses and challenged the segregated laws in 1961 across the South. But I was always into the fact, a lot of people don't know that Nashville played a real big role in the whole Freedom Rides movement. The first wave got shut down because there was so much violence, they just stopped in Alabama. But a bunch of kids from the black colleges in Nashville got together and they said, we're not going to let this stand. And they pulled their money out. They pulled their money together and they bought bus tickets down to Alabama and got back on those damn buses. and that's they continued the rides. I mean, all on their own. It was a very courageous thing to do. And that was from Nashville. Those Nashville people.
No, I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a shame. So many of these things that I think you have to live in America for a while to realize the importance and the impact, things that happened here, and how it works, and the things that seemed like a history that is so long ago that really weren't that long ago, and still there's still remnants of those things running around today. It makes you wonder.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of Freedom Riders who are still alive. There's quite a few. I knew a relative of one in Nashville. I didn't know any myself, but they were true heroes, absolute heroes, American heroes.
Do the Scorchers ever reunite these days?
No, we're pretty much done. In fact, we called it quits just recently, just this year. We sort of limped along with just me and Warner in the band, and anyway, it is over. The band's over.
Still a lot of material out there. Did you ever really open for the Ramones, or was that just a dream?
Oh, no. Yeah, we opened for the Ramones. It was one of our first tours, real tours, proper tours of Texas in 1982, opening for the Ramones. And we learned a lot, mostly how to dodge beer bottles. It was really quite violent. It was very violent, yeah. That's
nuts. Not a band I ever saw. And probably very different from London punk, it's just the way it is. But I wasn't sure whether when I heard that song, as I was flicking through the history, as to whether it sounded like it happened, because the commentary, the detail was real, and I thought, well, maybe it did.
Oh yeah, it did. It was a changing thing for us. To be there, every night in front of 1,500 people or 2,000 people. It was, and their people. We had to learn quick. Let's just say that. We had to learn fast, and we did.
Now, this is a solo show when you come to Atlanta, right?
That's correct. Eddie's is one of the best. Eddie's Attic is, I think, one of the finest solo performing venues in the world. It's a great place to do a solo show or to see a solo show. Yeah. It's a really good place for that. It's just wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's very intimate, and it allows you to do so much, in different environments.
Oh yeah, people come there to listen. That's why they're there. That's why.
But you can still have 3 or 4 people on stage, but there isn't a bad seat, and it allows you to really communicate with an audience.
It does. Yeah.
What I'm playing from the album is probably not the conventional mainstream selections, but I guess that's just me. But I remember a track. I'm trying to think. I've got to remember to play the right track now, because I want to play another song to lead out with. It was right down. I think it's Keep That Promise. That has a real rock to it. But there was a line in there about adding some harm to the harmonica, and then the way I scribbled it in my head was, we can't harm Monica, as in Monica the girl, and it led me down. I started thinking of all the harmonica players I know, because there are quite a few of them, really good ones, and I thought, am I going to get to use this?
Well, I'd never thought of that. It was just a funny phrase I said because remember Carlene Carter said I put the CUXX back into country.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I was putting the harm back in harmonica. That's what I was doing.
I had $1 for every time you said that you'd be true when you were running around instead. Count up all your promises on me. So now you're telling me that you're giving up your cheating ways, and you'll do anything to make me stay. But darling, you can cross your heart and hope our love won't die. But you're as good as your word, and after what I've heard, baby, the word's goodbye. You can keep that promise, keep it to yourself. You may have another dozen up on the shelf, all unkept and keeping good company. Yeah, you can keep that promise, keep it to yourself. Yeah, you may want to use it on somebody else, but if you want to use it, don't use it on me. Time to put the harm back in harmonica. But darling, you can cross your heart and hope our love won't die. But you're as good as your word, and after what I've heard, baby, the word's goodbye. You can keep that promise, keep it to yourself. I bet you got another dozen up on the shelf. They're all unkept and keeping good company. Yeah, you can keep that promise, keep it to yourself. Hey, you may want to use it on somebody else, but if you want to use it, don't use it on me. Yeah, if you want to use it, don't use it on me. You can keep every bit of that promise, all of it, and good luck with it.
It's just one of those things that stood out. If you listen to lyrics, and I guess I always have, you know, you and I are the same age. I grew up in London where album covers were incredibly important because we want to read, we want to know, we want information. We like the gatefold. We like big spaces to put information on. You know, CDs became boring.
Absolutely.
You know? And,
I hear you. Yeah.
So, yeah, lyrics were still are a big deal, I think, to most of the people. Certainly the way music grew up in London. And it was very different. And people would always ask me, I did a show on a different radio station here, Power 99, called The Great British Breakfast. It was a Sunday morning thing, and I would play all the hits from England that no one ever heard in America. And that was because back in the time, it either you didn't have distribution, the label or management didn't know anybody in America, whereas, you know, by the late 80s, 90s onwards, all of that was so easy to make happen. And they kept asking me, all these bands out of Liverpool, why so many? And I said, well, they got the music first. And I said, what do you mean they got the music first? I said, well, back in the day, you know, when we used to ship only vinyl and it physically had to arrive in America, the first port of arrival from New York is Liverpool. So
That's
when
right.
everything was unloaded off the docks and started being shared around, it was in the shops, the music shops in Liverpool, you know, weeks before London, and it sprung up so many people who wanted to get on the bandwagon, Jerry and the Pacemakers and all the other great, you know, bands of that era. And it's just, it's weird how the decades changed so many things. I did a program, must be 7 or 8 years ago, on why there are more iPods than engagement rings, because the kids were all listening to these tall, thin silos of music that didn't reach across into others, so they didn't know how to communicate with the girl or the boy. And, you know, it's all these impacts, and all began from the same thing, listening to something that interests you, music. So
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right, Bob. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So, there was one last thing that was on my mind. Do you find the fun in the music is because you're trying to make a point, but you want to make it through humor, or do you consider it just one of the novelty factors of who you are?
I don't think I quite understood the question.
I'm finding a lot of humor in what you create, and I don't know whether it's intentional or not, but it certainly catches my ears. The sounds and the lyrics together. Is it deliberate, and it's not just a novelty that happened to pop out?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, I would say that having some element of ironic humor is important to my music and to what I want to do. I mean, I'm an old Dylan head, so I realize the importance of saying something that'll cut up while making people laugh at the same time. That's very important. Yeah.
Well, good. I didn't lose it completely then, but it certainly struck me, and I had great fun playing through something. And of course, even though I've done this morning show, 22 years now, I'm always embarrassed to say I apologize that I didn't know who you were and I didn't know about the album. So shame on me. But now I'm enlightened. You know, I feel like I've grown somewhere. I found an extra little space in my head to absorb and enjoy some new music. So thank you for that.
Well, I wouldn't, beat myself up too much, Bob. I mean, there's billions of people around the world who haven't heard of me. so I wouldn't don't feel bad about that. And thank you for listening and creating a place in your head for my music. I appreciate that. And on your show.
Well, I know that you're a wealthy, worldwide, 40-year traveling musician, but you've got to buzz off to your day job, and I don't want to keep you from that. I think that's part of today's world. I know
that's
so
part
many
of today's world.
Yeah,
that's right.
I know so many great musicians, and they've all got to do something else just to keep the fires burning. But thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And Saturday, January the 14th, Eddie's Attic. We get to see, smell, touch the real thing.
Amen to that. Look forward to being back in the good old Atlanta area. I love playing Atlanta, so see you all soon.
This is a public affairs bulletin board announcement brought to you by your station for progressive information and hand-picked quality music, WRFG 89.3 FM, WRFG.org. On Sunday, January 8, 2023, honoring the birthday of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. At 1 p.m., members as well as sympathizers will gather at the Moorish Science Temple of America, number 33 Atlanta, located at 1057 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia 30310 in the historic West End. That's Sunday, January 8th, 2023, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, 470-588-1701 or 404-963-4514.
Hey everybody, it's 89 Volt. It's 89 Volt, man, and you listen to WRFG Atlanta, Good Morning Blues with UK Bob. London to Louisiana. Dude plays the best music, man. Tune in, drop out, dig it.
My thanks to Jason Ringenberg for the great music conversation, talking about his album Rhinestone out now, and he'll be at Eddie's Attic on January the 14th. Sure to be a super interesting and original night of music. Now to something not so happy that can be turned into that. There's a chap down in New Orleans that I don't know, but many do. His name was Eddie Tebe or Tebby, not quite sure how you pronounce it. And he was diagnosed, I guess, 10 years ago with Huntington's, but he's a huge music fan and shows up at every gig. I'm pretty sure he would go to Papa Grows Funk and a bunch of other people. Anyway, he knows Paul Sanchez and asked if he would help write a song with him. He went to his house and said, "What do you have in mind?" He said, "Well, I want to write a song that's about laughing while you're dying." And so Paul's like, "Oh, I don't know if I could do that. You've got an incurable disease. I believe it's painful and end of life. And this guy, Eddie, said to him, reminded him that it was for him and that he can dictate that and control that emotion. So anyway, he wrote this song as a duet with himself and Shamar Allen. And it was always Eddie's first request at any show. I guess he lived on, but he's finally passed on. So we need to share a terrific song for Eddie and obviously of great use to anybody else in a similar position.
You got to breathe or keep trying.
Well, I ain't no grandpa.
Laugh while you're dying. Your life shouldn't end before it begins.
Box who in?
You are who you are. Get comfortable in your own skin.
You know I'm
Don't waste a day
Try not to.
by letting sad get in the way.
Sad move to Indianapolis.
You can be angry inside, spend your time crying, or you can laugh while you're dying.
Hearts open
What
wide.
they do for you, nephew?
When you live on the positive
Oh,
side,
that's nice.
you got nothing to lose but those nasty old blues. Live your life, but you still gotta choose. I say you ought not pass up the chance
Shamar, pass up a chance.
to listen to the music and dance.
Keep going, Twinkle Toes.
Keep wondering why, but life is passing you by. You gotta laugh while you're dying.
You can laugh
Ah ha ha ha.
while you're dying.
You can laugh
You can laugh
while you're dying.
while you're dying.
Paul Sanchez and Shamar Allen, Laugh While You're Dying. Let's move on with some upbeat, groovy, funky, rocky new releases going from Boston to Chicago to Australia. So put your seatbelts on, please.
I want you to love me, make the hair stand on my head. I want you to love me, make me dizzy, make me feel like playing now. I want you to love me like a hurricane. I want you to love me. Stop stalling up hurricane now. want you to love me till the hair stand on my head. I want you to love me, make me dizzy, make me feel like playing now.
Early in the morning, round the break of dawn, she left me confused like I never was born. She'd been acting kinda weird for a couple of days, but not a word was uttered that she'd run away. Where did you go? Why did you vanish in the air? Vanish in the thin air. She packed up her belongings in the dead of night. Did it when I was out like a light. She grabbed her bags and suitcase, then she hit the road. Didn't leave no explanation or a reason to go. Where did you go? Why did you vanish in the air? Vanish in the thin air. Yeah.
John Cleary from New Orleans, Louisiana, and you're listening to UK Bob, the Good Morning Blues.
When the music hits you right, it makes you dance through the night. While you're walking down the street, and the groove hits your feet. When you're with me on the floor, well, it feels so good, baby. I just want to know. Tell me, baby, can you feel it too? Yeah. That sweet, sweet music running through you, baby. Oh, it feels so good. I know what to do. Can you feel my body grooving with you? Hey, 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 hey. When the music makes you sweat, baby, and the beat gets you wet, I can feel your body grooving with me. Hey, when the feeling's right and you dance through the night, tell me, do you know how to let it go, baby? Tell me, baby, can you feel it too? That sweet, sweet music running through you. It feels so good. I know just what to do. Black Chelsea boots, one long black dress, and one bad attitude. Oh, it sure is good to me. It might even make my day. When the time comes for loving, oh, funky woman, don't you make me play. I'll be good to you, you'll be good. Don't you beat around that bush, you'll get everything you see. I ain't got much time, I'll leave within the day. When the time comes for loving, oh, funky woman, don't you make me play. Oh. Hush, you ain't the hottest thing I've seen. You can sure play that guitar, but you sure can't play me. I ain't got much time, I'll leave within the day. When the time comes for loving, oh, funky woman, don't you make me play, baby. Oh, funky woman. patience, I'll show it to you. If a fresh start is what you want, then make sure you do. My heart can't take the sight of another man with you. Oh, I thought that this love was stronger than what's going on. Oh, baby, come back to me. Yeah. You say you love me, and that you really do. And who in the hell is this man calling you, baby, while I'm next to you? Is his love better than mine? Do his lips make you smile? Tell me, baby, what can I do? 'Cause watching this breaks my heart in two. I thought this love was stronger than what's going on. Oh, baby, come back to me. Come back to me. Let me tell you.
Five-piece new release section there. Brand new stuff, starting out with Anthony Rosano and the Congaroos. I'm going to call them the Congaroos to take it away from Australia and make it sound more Latin, okay? Why? I don't know. Anyway, their version of Humble Pie's 4-Day Creep, followed by a real Aussie, Mr. Gwyn Ashton, Vanish into Thin Air, the only track I can find from his new album called Mojo Soul that's supposed to be out, but it's been delayed and it's hung up somewhere. And then we played 3 in a row from Mr. Will Jacobs. I think you heard me talk about him last year. He's a Chicago boy that 5-6 years ago just uprooted, took off to Berlin and said, I think I'll make my music over here if you don't mind. And rather good it is too. Grooving With You, Funky Woman, and Come Back to Me are all tracks off the new album, which I've now totally forgotten and will have to come back to you on. Okay. I'm going to go back to an album that I started playing on side one. Side one is always the first hour. You know the rules. And this chap, a former professional surfer, now 60-odd, decided, let's see, I've done this, I've done that, I've done all these other musical things. No reason why I can't go make a blues album, right? So Mr. Douglas Avery did just that. Here's a couple more.
With heterosexual black women experiencing the second highest rate of new HIV infections in the southern U.S., the Reginald and Dion Smith Foundation believes that the heterosexual black man's willingness to be supportive and proactive about HIV is integral to the survival of the black family. Patients newly diagnosed with HIV are encouraged to enroll in HIV care and find support groups to better understand and navigate the disease. The Alliance for Narrative Change about HIV, led by the Reginald and Dion Smith Foundation, wants you to know that support and encouragement is available at www.thersf.com. That's thersf.com. This is another public service announcement brought to you by your listener-sponsored and supported Community Radio 89.3 FM WRFG.org, your station for progressive information and hand-picked quality music.
everything was going my way. She caught me with another woman. That was my worst mistake.
So that was a couple more from Douglas Avery from the album Take My Rider. This is the guy that was a I don't think he was a professional, but semi-avid surfer in California. But I forgot to mention he was also a major photojournalist. So he's been following live music and blues festivals and stuff for all these years and decided, you know what, maybe I've heard enough and seen enough and learned enough, maybe I can do this myself. And that's how this came around. So you heard him covering Bad Luck Blues by B.B. Arnold, and then Sonny Boy Blow, which I think is an old John Mayall song. Anyway, pretty accomplished for somebody just starting in his sixth decade on the planet. So the Will Jacobs album of the stuff I played earlier, Goldfish Blues, out on Roof Records. Yes, I know. Sometimes I forget stuff. I have to laugh at some of the news reports last night and this morning. Channel 2 guys standing in the rain, filming. Look at the rain. And he'll go out and he'll run over to a petrol station and splashes. Look at this inch of rain flooding down the street. And it's like, what is wrong with people here? If you were to do that in London and put it on television, they would say, have you totally lost your mind? It's just rain. It's just water. All this drama with weather news here. Oh, well. I'm going to rinse your brain for a second. It won't hurt, I promise. I mean, music can be painful, but not this. I just want to empty your head before we go into a little bit of New Orleans something. This is a 1968 song about dog track love. Why not? It's upbeat. It's from a band you know well.
First time we met, you were a kennel maid. You gave me a tip, I got me full cars paid. You were holding the greyhound in trap number 1. Your white coat was shining in the afternoon sun. Now we're both together. We're never gonna break apart, no, no. 'Cause we're a happy couple, you and me. With a greyhound at either knee.
Oh, that tension is the rhythm. Come here, a flash, young man.
What dog's that?
It's a Duke's dog, isn't it?
There was nothing in my life bigger than beer. There was nothing in my life bigger than beer. Except in you, little darling, except in you, little darling. We're a happy couple, you and me, with a greyhound at either knee.
We go to the dog track on Saturday nights. We put all our money on a dog that we like. A kiss and a cuddle and awfully high. $2 tickets and a starry sky.
There was nothing in my life bigger than beer. There was nothing in my life bigger than beer. Except in you, little darling. Except in you,
$25 nicker, please, on yellow printer. Oh, I hope the wife don't find out. Yes, it's short of weed, isn't it? Yes, I know, it's a good dog. I saw it run at White City just last week. Broke the record. Yellow printer, nice dog. It's lovely form, lovely buttocks.
Just a little bit of nonsense there to see if you were still listening. That was The U from 1968, and an obscure track not many people played called Dogs. Going to the Dogs or the Greyhounds was always a big thing. Lots of dog tracks in London. It was about betting, putting 10p on each way. That kind of mentality of a poor working man's escape, not spending any money but having something to get excited about. But there's a connection there because the song ends like another one of my favorites begins, with Pete going, "Lovely buttocks." And that's also a trick I play on my friends when we go into music game word questions when I'm sitting around having drinks in London. I say, okay, my favorite opening to any song ever was, "I love a good bum on a woman, it makes my day." Yes, the opening line. So there you go. It's weird how things that stay with you. Let us move away from this nonsense and back into New Orleans. We haven't been in New Orleans much this session because the last 2 weeks have been beaucoup New Orleans. And we haven't had enough ladies. There are never enough ladies in this business. So let me introduce you to Miss Sarah Burras. I'm pronouncing it that way because her grandparents were, I almost said Burat, came over from France in the 1800s, and a little town was actually converted, named after them. Born about 45 minutes, I guess has to be east of New Orleans, on the Mississippi border. Currently professionally known as Sarah B. And she's got this great album out that I tripped over right before the holidays, but didn't really get an opportunity to play it because everything's jammed up with Christmas. So I thought, well, let's just drop this in right here and see what you think of this. It's very funky, almost gospel, this opening track. She's got tons of great players joining in, like Joe Crown and the Batiste brothers. So, I think musically it's very sound and quite a voice.
I heard you found yourself a new man. You say he's changed all your plans, showing you things you've never known, taking places you've never gone. Well, I hate to be the one to rain on your parade, stand up objecting on your wedding day. If he's anything like the boy I used to know, he gonna treat you like a queen, throw you outside the castle door. Anything like the boy I knew back when. He gonna come on like a hurricane and leave you broke down and wasted. Anything like the man I knew at all. He gonna chew you up, spit you out, stomp right over your broken little heart. What he's gonna do, yeah, I know you think you found yourself a good man. Trust me, I know he makes you feel like a woman. See, I've been right there where you are, cruising in this fancy foreign car.